Ryan Reynolds spoke to Time 100, and man, his mannerisms were very weird. Something's off. We brought a behavior expert in to talk about it. Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signore. I'm here with It's Kim, and Linda's back. For your record, Your Honor, so glad to have you. Kim, always good to see you. But Linda, hey, how have you been?
Good. I'm so happy to be here and see you guys.
I'm so you're happy here because you are an expert. You in your careers, you had to help watch in courtrooms and people. You had to find tells. You had to find tells in people to do the right thing. And so I'm so grateful you're here because I wanted to watch this Ryan Reynolds clip with you. To be fair, we watched it already in the live. If you want to watch our full broken down analysis, you can go over on Patreon and watch the full show. But Linda, I want to go through some of these clips, but overall, what was your summary of sort of the tells that you could notice when you watched this interview, which we played a clip of, a lot of the audience saw already earlier this morning as well. What were the biggest tells right out the gate that you can tell something's off here with Ryan?
Well, his body language is it's closed in, reserved, and tight. And it's almost like he doesn't want to be fully seen. And like Kim was saying while we were going over analysis, going through the analysis, he usually is very outgoing, always smiling, joking, and kind of like his wife. Usually he is, front and center on stage. And it is very awkward to see him in this type of light.
Yeah, Kim, you brought up this hunch, right? There was a hunch to him too that felt very off, right?
It feels like as soon as we finished watching this, my word to everybody I just said was, I'm uncomfortable. I felt very uncomfortable. I feel like for years we have seen a very larger than life personality, very, very animated. And you do see a bit of that, but it feels muted. To me, it just doesn't feel like I'm watching Ryan Reynolds. It is uncomfortable. It is awkward. At points, it does feel a bit cringy. And it does kind of seem like, and this is just my opinion, outsider looking in, it seems like he is going through it. Like, it doesn't seem like the Ryan that we have seen in the past.
Yeah, there's a lot of awkwardness to it. As we're going to play some more clips in a second, but there's also some telling clips. You made a good point. Like, through the first half, it's pretty brutal, very awkward, very cringy. But then he does sort of find control at moments when he knows sort of where he wants it to go. I mean, the reality is, as we watch this interviewer, Linda, you agree, like, it seems very clear all of this was prepped. Every interview question, it feels like he knows is coming. It seems like it's rehearsed. There's nothing sort of coming that he should be afraid of, but he still seems nervous, no? Except for when he feels more in control. Can you talk about what you noticed there?
So at times he seems to be extremely confident, which is in little bursts throughout this interview. And when he is extremely knowledgeable and comfortable is when he's talking about all his projects, the filming, the directing. And to me, it makes me feel that he is so focused on control. And he's pretty much hyping himself up while he's talking about these projects because he's in control again of the conversation and the narrative and which way this is going. Because I think he's very cautious right now that everything he says is going to be examined, printed, published, used against him. So I think that's why he's extremely anxious. And for the possibility that it was kind of scripted or the questions were already reviewed, I mean, it's kind of common sense that the situation he's in right now with his wife and that all that controversy and there's lawsuits, why would you agree to an interview that you don't know what's going to be thrown at you? And for someone who likes to have that control like he does, he's going to want to make sure that he's going to be able to handle it and guide it the way he wants it to be viewed.
Yeah, there's a lot of little weird tells about stealing personalities and a lot of stuff. There was this little obsessive moment he calls himself.
I don't think so. I mean, I think some people think I'm ambitious. I'm obsessive, which is way worse. So like, I can only really do so many things. But Wrexham, that's why there's a docuseries.
You notice when he says that, his hands, he has to be moving and touching his hands. He's fidgeting because he's pretty much telling the truth right there that, that he is very obsessive and, once again, controlling.
Right, which is it's interesting because ambitious is something you'd say, but no, he's not ambitious. He just is obsessive, and you can see that's what's happening right now in this lawsuit. He is absolutely obsessive. His hands, or at least his jokes, they're all over these lawsuits and things that have demands that he had against Justin. So it is very telling, and it's weird, like echoing what you said before. Why is he doing this? For some dumb Time 100 panel for 15 minutes for literally 2,000 views? Like, what was the point of this? Maybe to try to get some clients, I think, for his maximum effort. They talk a lot about it. There's also this weird moment where he does bring up weight again. Like, is this a knock on Justin?
Issue. I mean, there was that Peloton ad that came out years ago, and the husband buys his wife a Peloton bike, and now he monitors her weight loss for the year. And culture didn't welcome that into its open mouth the way they might have thought they would, and it became this huge cultural, look, and people make mistakes. It's just use the mistake, don't just move on. So.
Oh my God, please take that advice for yourself and your wife, dude. Just please.
Exactly.
Please. Just admit you guys messed up and move on.
In the scope of the world we're in right now, that comment is very odd.
It's so odd.
Lewis. She was the actor in this.
So he's talking about maximum effort. Now they're reacting to these things very quickly. But anyway, he's revealing a lot about himself. No, Linda? Are these moments that he was planning to tell? Do you think this is coming out of nowhere? What is your notice on sort of the language of it all?
I think he's trying to stay on track with what he prepared, what he was comfortable discussing and answering. But there's times that he kind of drifts off and gets into a ramble, and that's when he's usually comfortable. And then he's kind of trying to give you the narrative of the image he wants to be portrayed as. That's why they eventually start talking about the other projects he does besides film. And honestly, there is a time in this interview where he does discuss Deadpool with the whole, putting on a mask. And part of me just gets this vibe from him that one of the main reasons he really enjoys doing characters like Deadpool is because he can kind of hide behind the mask and use that character, because that character is extremely sarcastic, and so is he.
I want to play this one because when we watched this earlier, this was the clip that everyone in the comments sort of lost it on. And again, very revealing and potentially connected to the Justin story. Here it is.
5 billion media impressions, but
they're talking about that Peloton hit. They got all these hits.
No shots fired. Peloton was happy. Monica was happy. Aviation was really happy. Like it just killed for everybody. And I would love to say that was by design, but I think it is in a sense, because that's how we operate. We don't punch down. It just doesn't feel good. It's easy. It's lazy. So.
Whoa. That's totally what he does. He's absolutely punched down. Nice pull was absolutely punching down. Did you sense any tells there? Was that why he's clearly lying there? What do you think?
Are you able to go back just a sec?
Yes, here it is
I
again.
say that was by design, but I think it's.
I'd like to say it was by design, but it wasn't, because
right
clearly
there.
he does.
It is
That's exactly what I was going to go for.
Yeah, it's
he can't help himself. He has to put himself front and center. He has to give himself some sort of credit.
And literally, he says it. It's not even a tell from the body. You're right. He's very vocal. He's almost really bad at lying.
And I would love to say that was by design, but I think it is in a sense, because that's how we operate. We don't punch down.
He's squinting a lot as he's saying this too. It's like he caught himself. It's like by design, because we don't punch down. That's not nice.
It doesn't feel good. It's easy. It's lazy. So, bringing people together like that was a real moment for us, and it was shot in. The event happened. We had that on. Anyway,
he's pivoting, but he's telling the truth, but it's a lie in the same way, right? What is that?
He's wrapping it up in a bow. He's selling it. I think he's trying to cover up, obviously all these articles out there are making him look bad. But I think right here he's taking a few things, whatever he can, to just tie that bow and make it look pretty.
It's very strange. Go ahead, Kim. What are your final thoughts?
I honestly wonder sometimes as I'm watching this if there are things that are leaving his mouth and he's realizing, oh, people are going to pick this apart. And I mean, I don't envy his position. It's a very difficult one to be in. And it definitely.
But it's one he put himself in. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and that's and that's the thing, right? It's difficult, and it's like I really want to hear when this is all over everybody's perspective on how they ended up in these positions. But clearly, he does seem just to be so uncomfortable, and I really don't think this was a good idea at the end of the day. Like,
yeah,
really,
I wish he would just stop.
Yeah,
just take some time off, dude.
Why does he have to name drop what's his name?
Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman, yes. Why did he have to do that? I just feel like that's another thing where he's always bragging in a way.
I think it's almost like it's a comfort thing almost, or maybe, I don't know, like I don't want to assume too much, but it's like it seems like he is very comfortable with bringing in other names of people that he cares about, that are in his life, that are close to him. And it is a good deflection. I just think it's really interesting. He's brought up like many people in his life that we know he regularly associates with, except his wife.
Exactly. Yeah.
Even though we've talked about the businesses that they run and the movie,
and she's on the list, Kim. He's not even on the list this year.
Exactly.
He's on the time list this year. It's uncomfortable, and that's why I said as soon as it was done, I'm uncomfortable. I'm still uncomfortable.
How do you go show up for Time 100 and do the interview and not congratulate your wife for it, right? Because he can't. Because the whole thing's awkward. And he's absolutely punched down. My God, TJ Miller's on a podcast admitting that he literally took a whole time in the set to just punch down on him and make him feel like the worst person in the world. And then Ryan apparently called and apologized and whatever. But this idea that he doesn't punch down, give me a break. Go ahead. Yeah, sorry, Kim.
It's good for him if he did apologize and those types of things. It's just all of this. I cannot help but feel like him doing this interview was a mistake. I don't think it was a good idea right now. And there's apparently a gala for Time as well that's coming, and he's expected to be there, and Blake is expected to be there, and I'm just like, this kind of feels like I'm watching a train wreck.
We will be covering that train wreck for you, of course. So hit that subscribe. Support It's Kim on YouTube, as well as For the Record, Your Honor. Go give Linda some love. Can we get her to 3,000 subscribers? Come on, chat.
Oh, thank
we got enough of you watching.
I appreciate that.
we got enough. We got enough of you watching. Let's make it happen. All right, go subscribe there. We're not done. We're live still. We got a lot to cover, including more subpoena news and more. So catch the full replay if you're a member over on Patreon. Support these amazing women. Thanks so much for watching. If you're watching on the replay, we got a lot more to talk about.